I live inside my own world of make-believe.
Welcome, fellow Fusioners. Carrot King here, and today I'm going over the second half of the new box and the archetypes they have new support for. For the new box, we got some X Saber. For part 2, we have X Saber, Infernities, Preformapal, and then I'm going to go over some of the other cards that don't really have a direction of which they're going, but still have some pretty cool effects overall. So basically, I went over X Saber, and the new cards we got were 3 ones that really, we got 3 cards. We got X Saber, Airbellum, we got Saber Hull, and we got Gotham's Emergency Call. So basically, X Sabers really want to get out level 6 Synchros. They have their level 6 Synchro monster, X Saber Hunlei, who will pop 3 back row cards your opponent controls, or up to whichever ones you want to destroy. But the problem with the deck still overall is the fact that you can't just Synchro turn 1. The only way to Synchro turn 1 is with your Bogart Knight, who is a level 4, and if you mix it with a level 3 tuner, you can only make a level 7, and your Bogart Knight has the unfortunate downside of only being able to Synchro summoning X Saber monsters with that downside. So basically, there's one of the ones 2200 that your opponent has to have 4 cards in hand, terrible Synchro. And then we got Soza, which we've had for the longest time ever since Synchros were even in the game, who's 2500 attack at least and has X Saber in the name, so it works the archetype overall. So basically, we put the deck together where we have the old Fulhelm Knight, who can negate 1 attack while he's face up in the field. Bogart Knight, you can special summon an X Saber from your hand. Dark Soul, who when he's set from your side of the field to the graveyard this turn, you can add X Saber monster from your deck to your hand. So it lets you search out your pieces overall. So those 3 are the ones we originally had. The new one we have is X Saber Airbellum, who is a level 3 tuner. So you can do your. We now have another tuner that's X Saber. And basically, he has 1600, which is really good stats. And then if he inflicts battle damage to your opponent by a direct attack, you can discard 1 random card from your opponent's hand. That is an amazing effect. Good disruption, good stats. He's really good overall. You can actually run if you wanted more back row, like more Wall of D, Mirror Wall, stuff like that, if you want to get that effect off going. Because it does not take much to get that effect off. So you can run a deck around that, or you can run a deck more around the X Saber Synchro strategy, which is what I kind of put together here. Saber Slash, which we've had for the longest time, has the downside. It's not a quick effect, but is a really good effect overall. You can destroy a number of face-up cards on the field equal to the number of face-up attack position X Saber monsters you control. So you can destroy 2 when you use your Bogart Knight's effect by summon another one from your hand, and has some pretty good removal overall. It is face-up though, so be careful about that. I put a Clash at 2, so you can keep a guy on the board if you want to. So you can banish your Fulhelm Knight after you negating 1 attack, and then keep him on the board for Synchro next turn. And then we have the Saber Hull. This is a fantastic card. This deck reminds me of a Synchro version of Gladiator Beast. Except Gladiator Beast get like an advantage for battling a little more. Saber Hull basically activate only when you control a face-up X Saber monster, negate the summon of a monster, and destroy it. So basically, this gives you the ability to negate summons. Very fun, very good card. It's very strong. Unfortunately, X Sabers don't have the strongest capabilities, but they're not a bad deck by any means, just a little slow. So you can probably pull out a lot more wins of Saber Hull. It's probably actually a King of Games deck between these 2 new cards we're getting. So I think it's really good overall. Because the cool thing about X Sabers is it can run 2 cards you can't usually run in other strategies. You can run your Goyo Guardian because it requires an Earth Tuner. All of your monsters are Earth types. So you can run Goyo Guardian, and then you have Neteria Barkion, who requires an Earth monster, Earth Tuner, and a non-Earth Tuner. So basically all your monsters are Earth. Easily summon Barkion. Barkion can negate traps by banishing 2 cards from your graveyard. Really good effect overall. You have really good options in this deck. The better options are a little bit slower, but we have some really strong level 6s, and for Earth level 6s are the best in the game. So this is a good deck. It is able to reach King of Games. It is just a little slow, but you can build it how you want to, and you can capitalize more on the X Saber Airbellum effect if you want. But that's basically how the deck works overall. It's not too much to show, so I'm not going to go into gameplay. I'll go over to gameplay for Infinities, because it's a little more complicated. And then I'm going to go over the last card, because we got Gotham's Emergency Call. Sorry, I'm going a little fast. Which is not a bad card by any means, except it's a trap, and it requires setup. So basically, if you control an X Saber monster on the field, you can target 2 X Saber monsters in any graveyard, so your opponent's 2, special summon them both to your side of the field. That is pretty good, because if you synchro summon with, say, for example, Bogart Knight, into a level 7, you can get back both your materials, or if you go into anything else with a level 3 and level 3, you're able to go into your level 6s and have your material come back to the field, which is pretty good overall, but it's a trap card. You need to have an X Saber, so if they remove it during your end phase, you can't do anything with it. It's a little too situational for it's like the 1/6 Samurai card that people start running later to get back to materials at the end phase and they get their effect off. It's good, but it's not ideal. It's still a little slow, and you need some graveyard setup. So that's the downsides to it, but it's not a bad card by any means. It is really good overall. Now I'm looking at this deck, I'm thinking we need more level 3 normal monsters. You probably text them in, but this is the best strategy I came up with overall. Probably less Saber Slashes because they require setup, and have to be face up, so they're not the most... it doesn't target those, so that's actually really good. I don't know, they're still worth it. Maybe not that number, but still worth running at least one of. Next we got Infernities. Infernities... Infernities are really weird. I don't think I have the ideal form. I think people are going to experiment with this deck a lot. To be clear, we don't know what new cards we're getting from Callan, because we're getting Callan on the 30th. So I'm only going by what we have for sure, so we could get more like Avengers or more other stuff. But as we know for now, we have our 2 Necromancer, our 2 Break. We're getting Archfiend Launcher in the box, which if you look, they are limited to 1 in the TCG. For good reasons, because basically, as far as I can tell looking at them, they do not have a once per turn clause. All of their effects go off whenever you have the ability to use it. The only downside, the only once per turn is the launcher having it once per turn, soft once per turn basically, which means it only has the once per turn when it's on the field. So basically, you have it where launcher will just send 1 Infernity monster from your hand to the graveyard. Simple, straightforward, easy to pull off. Helps you get your hand empty, which is what you want to get your effects going. Launcher, your Archfiend, is really good. Basically has the effect where when you draw this card, if you have no other cards in your hand, you can reveal this card, special summon this card from your hand. That won't come up too often, but if you draw it past turn 1, you easily special summon it and get the effect going right away. Its effect when it's special summoned, not once per turn, so if you summon it multiple times, you get multiple searches. You can add 1 Infernity card from your deck to your hand. You must have no cards in your hand to activate this and resolve this effect. So that lets you search out your pieces you need. If you have normal summon, you can search Necromancer to summon anything back from the grave. Infernity Break can destroy things. It's good the back row to have, that's searchable. Infernity Barrier is in the leaks, but off the game code, we don't have anything solid. We can't confirm we're getting it. Infernity Barrier would be busted. This deck would be top tier for sure if Infernity Barrier comes to the game. Because it basically just negates monster, spell, or trap effects if you control an Infernity monster. That'd be really, really strong. But we don't have any confirmation, so not so far. The only tuners we have currently confirmed is Avenger, who's level 1. Not ideal for the Synchro we want to go for. And then Beetle. So you're going to run 3 Beetle. Can use its effect if you have no cards in hand to summon 2 more from your deck. So it's pretty good overall. You keep recycling things, so nothing's really dead when you get into your graveyard. Because basically, your launcher, besides discarding an Infernity card once per turn, you can send this card to the graveyard. You can do both those in one turn. Target up to 2 Infernity monsters from your graveyard. Special summon them. You must have no cards in your hand to resolve this effect. That is very easy. You can get multiple Infinities multiple times. The biggest downside in Duel Links is we don't have enough spaces, so you can get a Synchro out and have, say, so you can have like a, say you have Archfiend and a Synchro, and you have to use this effect to get more things going. You can't like summon 2 beetles, for example. So like the 3 spaces really hurt this deck specifically. So that might be a downside to the deck, but overall, this card is so strong. Because the whole combo goes is you will just a base combo. I Launcher to discard Archfiend. Archfiend, you bring back Archfiend with Launcher by sending it to the grave. Summon Archfiend, search another Launcher, activate Launcher, and now you can keep doing that combo where you keep searching Launcher and getting back your Archfiend as long as you can like work it off the board. And you're able to keep searching Launcher to empty your hand. So you can get your hand empty right away. There's no restriction to any of their effects by having no cards in your hand. Your Infernity Archfiend just needs the effect to be able to be drawn to use to summon itself. So basically, I saw the deck of using Dark World Dealing because you want cards in the grave, so you can discard. So you just have it where you can discard things. You don't have to run Dark World Dealings. You may end up running other back row that helps you defend and affect your opponent. So this is just more for this direction because I don't believe anything I can come up with right now, but the knowledge I have will be what is going to be played for Infernities. So I'm just going by what I see so far and just explaining basically how the basic concept of it works. Your Necromancer, when he's normal summoned, can change to change the defense. And if you have no cards in your hand, you can he has the effect where once per turn you can select an Infernity monster in your graveyard and special summon it. No restriction on that. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. A few small ones that you can like tech in different numbers. Avenger basically will summon itself when one of your monsters is destroyed by battle. That once per turn, by the way. So if they destroy him, or if they destroy something, he summons. They destroy him, then they destroy something else, he summons back. So you can keep summoning again and again. Your Mirage, this card cannot be special summoned, so you have to actually normal summon this. If you have no cards in your hand, you can tribute this card to select 2 Infernity monsters in your graveyard, special summon them. It's just a name. You can search it. If you could have it normal summoned, you can still normal summon it. Everything the deck really summons from the graveyard, between like your Launcher, your Necromancer, it's pretty good overall. Your Infernity Break is one of your best back rows of searchable because we don't have Infernity Barrier as that we know of yet. We may get it. At least one of would actually be busted because everything's searchable so much. If you have no cards in your hand, target 1 Infernity card in your graveyard and 1 card in your opponent's graveyard, banish the first target, and then destroy the second. So you can basically just pop something your opponent has by dealing with things you don't want in your graveyard. So it's pretty good. Removal, searchable, fantastic. You're running both of these in your deck 100%. Infernity Guardian, or at least one of for that one because it's searchable at least. But most likely to Infernity Guardian, I'm running because it's just like I like the combo of him with 100-Eyed Dragon, and the reason being is he has the effect where while you control no cards in your hand, this face-up card cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effects. And your Infernity Dragon, your 100-Eyed Dragon, not Infernity Dragon, has the effect where once returned you can banish 1 level 6 or lower dark effect monster in your graveyard until the end phase. Oh, no, it's until the end phase. Never mind, that's not as good combo. But it's still like, as long as this card's on your field and you have no cards in hand, your opponent cannot remove this unless they banish it, target it. They have to actually like have really good disruption to get rid of this. So it's a good break wall. It's just nice overall. You can special summon it back, so like even if they destroy it, find a way to get in the graveyard, you can keep bringing it back. And you can work around your opponent's back row, basically, is how I see it. General has the effect where you have no cards in your hand. You can banish this card from your graveyard. Target 2 level 3 or lower Infernity monsters in your graveyard. Special summon them, but their effects are negated. That works for your level 3 and then your level 3, level 2 you could do. Go into our Armades. It's not too much like things you can do. You don't have to run it, but it's like an option you can do. You have plenty of ways to discard it, so it's not like stuck in your hand ever. You can always normal summon it, special summon it back. 2700 is pretty good. And so I thought, why not? Then besides that, yeah, we have a Infernity Doom Dragon, newest one from the event. Once per turn, if you have no cards in your hand, you can select 1 monster your opponent controls, destroy that monster, and inflict damage to your opponent equal to half its attack. This card cannot attack the same turn you activate this effect, so it has good removal. That's basically all there is to it. Easy to summon out of the deck. Cause the biggest problem with the deck, I think, is going to be the lack of extra deck spaces. Because you can synchro and do a lot of fun things with the deck overall. So I'm seeing like we have 4s, level 4s, level 2s, so I'm running level 6s. So you got your Brionic. I'm running Kendama, because Kendama will climb into your Doom Dragon. And then Kendama you can always bring back later. This prevents you from normal summoning, which you always discard cards anyway, so you don't even need a normal summon. So I find this card is actually pretty efficient in the deck. It has piercing, so it's like an option you can do if you want to like Synchro climb into it. Archfiend's Call more if you want to go for your 100-Eye Dragon. The fact I thought didn't work, so you may not run 100-Eye Dragon. Or you don't have to run Archfiend Call, but you still can because it's a level 6 Dark Synchro monster. Let's see, what am I missing? I think that's really all over all the cards overall. Yeah, I'll show some of the gameplay. Let's go to gameplay right now. Alrighty, here we go. So, we're going second because we get more disadvantage, which is what we want to show off more of the gameplay. So we have these cards here. You see we have many monsters, many cards in hand. Very easy to get rid of these cards because we have Launcher. Basically, you activate Launcher. Then you can discard your Infernity Archfiend. Then you will get Archfiend back by sending your Launcher to the graveyard. So summons back to the field, letting you search an Infernity card. So you search out your Launcher again. Soft once per turn, so you activate it back. Discard your Guardian. You can discard either Guardian or your Necromancer, doesn't really matter. Then we have the effect to... We don't have a lot of cards we don't have a tuner, so we can't really do that unless we want to summon this again. Let's see, we can't really summon it, so we'll set this. Then we can normal summon our Necromancer, which will switch to defense. Then we can summon this back because we have no cards in hand. And so basically with this board we have a destruction. They cannot destroy Guardian by battle or card effect. And even if they get rid of, say they get rid of both of these, as long as we have a Launcher, we're good because we just draw next turn. Launcher will discard this, or we can just normal summon it. Like normal summon, Synchro, into Armades. I have more than 6 cards just so I can think about what I want to actually have in the deck. Send Launcher to grave. Launcher will summon out Archfiend. And I can summon out... I don't have to summon out anything else. Nah, so that's like the idea. Like you can do that. Let me do a different one because you never want to draw more than one. Here we go. Here's like ideal. So we can do. So almost. Oh no, we can't do that yet. Yeah, let's normal summon Beetle. Why not? Just summon Beetle. Activate Launcher. Discard our Archfiend. Let's set both back row. For the purpose of, we can now use our Beetle's effect. Sending it to the grave to summon 2 Beetles from our deck. Whoops. No. Pull that back up. So we got 2 Beetles. Now we have the ability to summon back our Archfiend by sending this to the grave. Like that. And then with Archfiend we can search out anything we want. For this one, we go. Might as well do Launcher because we can get Archfiend back anyway because we're gonna Synchro. So we Synchro these 2 to say Kendama. Then we Synchro these 2 to summon out our Doom Dragon. So now we have Launcher. Yeah, these Dark World dealings could be other back row too. They don't have to be dealings. Other back row is good too. So I'm thinking not dealings after seeing how the gameplay works because as long as you draw a Launcher, it's still like it's a terrible card to have in your hand. But if you don't draw a Launcher, it's a little better. So we send that to the graveyard. We can summon back our Archfiend, and we can summon back a Beetle. And then Archfiend can search anything we want. In this case, we would want a Infernity Break. Yeah, these things were like other fantastic back row, like Floodgates or something. It's just as good. Set Break, Synchro, 1/2. Into anything we want. Archfiend, call. Let's do that. There we go. So like that's the basic like climbing and how getting things out of your hand. As long as you have Archfiend and your launcher, you can basically get your hand empty and set up your combos to Synchro like once or twice. You kind of need a tune or two, so there's a few pieces you need. But when you get like, it's really weird to explain because there's a lot of things you can do with the deck that I'm not doing correctly. A lot of ways you can build it, a lot of plays you can do. Like these bad things can be more backer that do things. You can run things like Raigeki Break, like things to discard from your hand, Karma Cut, possibly if you want to get things out of your hand faster and disrupt your opponent. So there's a lot of things I'm not really doing right here that you could do differently. That would work pretty well overall. Alrighty, let's check out more cards. Alrighty, so Preformapals. Preformapals are interesting. We don't have a lot to make them good. They have some pretty good effects overall, but there's nothing that makes them like busted by any means. Basically, we have Thunder Rhino, is just like a Thunder Rhino, who just has 1800 attack, and if the monsters your opponent control cannot attack, face up Preformapal monsters for attacks, except for this one. Let's see. If Thunder Rhino would be destroyed by battle or card effect. No, if oh no, never mind. Let's see. This one. If a Preformapal card you control, except for itself, would be destroyed by battle card effect. There we go. I just like missed the line. While this card is in your graveyard, you can banish this card instead, so it can protect your other things. And they have to attack it first, so that's like a pretty good ability I saw overall. We have Preformapal Swordfish, who's actually really disruptive, because if this card is normal or special summoned, all monsters your opponent control lose 600 attack and defense permanently. So they permanently lose that when this card is summoned. Then if you special summon a monster while you control this card, all monsters your opponent control loses 600 attack and defense. So that's like pretty good overall, because it's like permanent loss, which is like not something we really have a lot of access to. May not be played, but that's just like a really good effect I saw overall, because we have the ability to get it back with your Preformapal friend Donkey. When this card is normal summoned, you can special summon one level 4 or lower Preformapal monster from your hand or graveyard. So this lets you go into more things. Unfortunately, like because you have 3 and 3, with Xyz, this deck may have a little more playability, because they have a lot of like really scattered effects, and until we get like Pendulum or Xyz, I don't see these effects being like top tier or like having potential. But they have some pretty strong abilities overall. Like we have a Bowhopper who can contribute a Preformapal monster to inflict damage to your opponent equal to the level times 100. And then if you you contribute one Preformapal monster and target one Preformapal monster in your graveyard other than the attributed monster, add it to your hand. So that's some recyclability and things you can do. It does tribute it, but it's like, eh. We have Elephant Hammer, who when if you control 2 or more Preformapal cards, you can normal summon this card without tributing. So if you use your friend Donkey and get something back and you can protect it, not with this deck but with a different one, you can then normal summon this, and then when this card declares an attack, return all spells and traps your opponent controls to the hand. So that's done pretty good overall. And then it has this card, which is pretty interesting, Preformapal Recasting. It's like a Magical Mallet, but a little bit more a little better actually. Basically, you can reveal any number of Preformapal monsters from your hand and shuffle them into the deck. Draw cards equal to the number of cards you shuffled into the deck +1. So basically, the +1 is itself, so it lets you basically thin your deck and draw what you want to instead. Then we have Preformapal Carl, which when an opponent's monster declares a direct attack, you can target the attacking monster, negate the attack, and if you do, add up to 2 Preformapal monsters from your deck to your hand, whose level or whose total defense is less than or equal to the attack of the targeted monster. With your Swordfish and your friend Donkey, 600 defense, pretty easy to pull off overall. So you can negate the direct attack. Get out these two, summon Friend Donkey, special summon Swordfish, lower their attack. Pretty good like combo over there overall. I don't see anything fantastic about this overall, but the abilities aren't specifically bad. They're just interesting. Other cards I've seen is Skimmer, who when the space attack card is target for attack, you can change the defense and negate the attack. Interesting, has good defense, water type, so Invoker is what I'm thinking there. Got Sky Pupil, who can bounce level 5 or higher Preformapal. So did you do turn 1? The hand. To summon itself from your hand, you can also normal summon it. And then if this card battles an opponent's monster, it has its effects negated. And then once per turn, once per turn before damage calculation, if this card attack an opponent's monster, you can destroy that opponent's monster. So you basically have the ability to destroy something if you have more than one Preformapal on your field. So if you summon this with your Friend Donkey, you can right away attack and destroy something. So it has a really cool effect. Stamp Turtle can increase up to 2 monsters level by 1. Not relevant now, but if you have a Xyz deck, you can like summon Friend Donkey, special this from hand or grave, and then raise Donkey's level by 1. There's a level 4 Xyz monster. Him and another level 4 is level 5, so you can do some fun Xyz plays with them. So these are cards I'm seeing that are pretty good. Odd Eyes, they don't have the best cards, like Saber Dragon can contribute a light and send an Odd Eyes monster from your deck or hand to the graveyard to special summon itself from your hand. 2800 is not bad. And then if this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, you can destroy 1 monster they control. They're not bad effect. And then Odd Eyes has Flame Wingman effect. Nothing is bad, but nothing like really sticks out. It's like how Cybers were when they first released the Cybers. They had like the one D-grade buster that's really good, and then everything else is like interesting. This is just everything's interesting. Nothing's like really standing out, except for like maybe the recasting's pretty good. Bot Lizard requires the Odd Eyes. It can basically become an Odd Eyes in name by sending one from your deck to the graveyard. Only really works for your Saber Dragon because it contribute a. Let's see. This has it where you can tribute 1 light monster, send 1 Odd Eyes monster from your hand, deck, or your side of the field to the graveyard. So you can send your Bot Eyes Lizard to sit to the graveyard, but you still have to tribute a light too, so it's not the best. You wouldn't want to do that overall. You want to send Odd Eyes to your graveyard overall. Illusion Balloon is interesting if a monster is destroyed during this turn. Unfortunate, that's the effect there. You can, while you controlled it, excavate 5 cards on top of your deck, then you can special summon 1 excavated Preformapal monster. Actually, that might be the best way to play this, because you can like be more defensive. Like, they kill Thunder Hino, you special summon out your Swordfish from excavating 5, maybe, and then you can like summon something else, and then Swordfish will lower more attack. So maybe the Illusion Balloon is the best way to play it, but it's just like interesting. Last minute cancel has more, I think, for things that want to be in defense to keep going in attack. When an opponent's monster clears an attack, will you control an attack position monster? Change all monsters you control to defense position, and then for the rest of this turn, after this card resolves, return any number of face-up Preformapal monsters you control that were destroyed by battle card effect to the hand instead of the graveyard. So basically, it lets you get materials back if they destroy them, and puts everything in defense. You don't lose life points. It's a trap card. It's not the best. You'd rather run other back row that keeps your guys alive and hurts your opponent. So you wouldn't really run that card at all. Alrighty, well, let's check out the other cards in the deck, the box. Okay, so here we go. Other cards are interesting. We got some. Take the Odd Eyes out. We put those in there. We got Ribbon of Rebirth, which during the end phase, if the equipped monster was destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard this turn, special summon it from the graveyard to your side of the field. The biggest thing I think about equipped cards is Slash Dragon. You're more afraid of Slash Dragon being banished or destroyed by card effect, non-targeting usually. And usually you'd lose this by negating targeting anyway. I don't see it being that good at that. The best I see this being with is, for example, Invoker, if you were to have something that can't be destroyed by card effect. Like Cocytus. You equip this to Cocytus, and you're in a pretty good position because they have to destroy that, and then they comes back in the end phase after they destroy it by battle. You don't have to waste your invokers in hand. So that's the best way I see that going, because we don't really have any other things too frequent that can't be destroyed by card effect. Okay, so basically this one has it where you get to summon this card from your hand during your end phase. Set one continuous spell. I don't see this having too much play. Because you can like set, the biggest thing I'm thinking with continuous spell would be the circle, but you wouldn't be able to fit this in Dark Magician very easily. Other continuous spells, you might be able to play this in Infernities, set their continuous spell. It's level 1, so they'll synchro with that. I don't know. It has like potential. It's not a bad card by any means. Searching out a continuous spell by special summoning this card defense position. It's not bad. It's good defense. I don't know. We'll see. Hunter Owl. This card gains 500 attack for each face-up wind monster you control. Well, you control another face-up wind monster. Your opponent cannot select this card for it as an attack target. He's a little bit selfish. He doesn't help your other wind monsters. He just can't be attacked and gains attack. Ooh, he gains 500 normally, so you can be up to 2,500. It's not bad. It's just like not fantastic either. See, Abaki. If this card's destroyed instead of the graveyard by battle, both players take 500 attack. Burn with good stats. It's a fire type fiend, not bad. Nothing revolutionary, but he's not a bad card. He's just not going to be meta. Helios Trice. I'm gonna skip this because I haven't gone over the other Helios cards, so I don't really have a good opinion on the Helios overall. Poison Mummy. Flip, inflict 500 points of damage to your opponent. Not bad. That's actually pretty good for burn decks. Good defense. Burn 500. It's like not busted, but it's still pretty good. Burning Algae. When this card is sent to the graveyard, increase your opponent's life points by 1,000. I think if you have like, I don't know if we have this in Duel Links with like bad reaction to something, the bad reaction trap card. They'll take the damage instead. Not sure. Interesting though. Interesting card. Smile World. All face-up monsters currently on the field gain 100 attack for each monster until the end of the turn. Interesting. It's good if your opponent doesn't have anything, or if you have destruction for their cards. It's still only 100 for each card monster, so like the max you can gain is 600 for all your guys. Pop all their things. Gain 1,800 direct attack. I don't know. It's more of a meme. That's a meme card. Let's see. Magical Star Illusion. If your opponent controls a monster and you control as many or fewer monsters currently on the field gain attack equal to the combined levels of all monsters their controller currently controls times 100 until the end of this turn. Interesting. So you can get Blue Eyes up pretty 38. I don't know, I think, sorry, that was a bit louder. I think Magical Star Illusion would be very fun with the, like, level augmentation. You won't really do much, it'll be kind of a waste. But it'd be pretty fun overall. I don't see it doing too much, though. It's just a spell gains attack for both players. These two don't seem very good overall, but that's the new box overall. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think is going to be good overall. Let me know if it's anything Infernities you think I missed, or anything, any strategies or combos you think I should look into. I appreciate you guys. Keep me going. Keep me strong. That's the box. That's the new box. Keep fusioning. Let's go Slash.
Hush.